She's #1 at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jazzy.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman.
Greg Gutfeld just tore into Jasmine Crockett on live TV. The damage was total and absolute. With cutting sarcasm and relentless precision, Gutfeld dismantled her showboating until she was left floundering. This wasn't a debate, it was pure destruction. Crockett came ready with lines, but Gutfeld came armed with fire. The audience didn't just watch, they erupted. Social media exploded. If you ever thought politics could be boring, this proved it's anything but. Chaos hit the screen raw and unfiltered, and Crockett never saw it coming.
Or literally, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage. Or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist!
Gutfeld doesn't just argue, he annihilates. Calm, polite chats aren't his style. He tears through nonsense like a buzzsaw, dripping with sarcasm and energy. So when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett strutted onto the stage with her trademark flair for drama and headline-chasing quips, a collision was inevitable. And when it happened, it hit like a freight train. The moment Crockett tried to puff up her feathers and turn house theatrics into a public spectacle, she made her biggest mistake, thinking Gutfeld would handle her gently, like the mainstream media often does.
Plantation.
Tyrus, I go to you for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is, if you're gonna talk about black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay?
Instead, she marched straight into the lion's den, overconfident, unprepared, and completely outmatched. Crockett has never been known for real substance. She's more of a performer disguised as a politician, skilled at shouting down opponents, tossing out buzzwords, and staging TikTok-ready tantrums. Her career so far has been a series of fiery tirades, viral comebacks, and treating every microphone like it's her personal stage. To her fans, it's fighting for justice. To everyone else, it's just empty noise.
But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Like, hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? We're like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks. I'm so angry right now.
But Gutfeld doesn't play with noise. He slices through it with sniper-sharp sarcasm and that sly grin that says, I know exactly where this is headed and you won't like it. So when Crockett launched into her latest spectacle, a mix of race baiting, deflection, and predictable partisan drama, he didn't show up to spar. He came to roast. And roast he did. He painted the picture everyone else thought but never dared to say out loud. Crockett isn't a serious leader at all. She's a walking viral clip, clinging to attention with nothing but performative outrage.
She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
She wasn't asking real questions. She was delivering monologues. She wasn't defending ideas. She was chasing applause with cheap zingers. In Gutfeld's world, that's the lowest form of political theater. His takedown didn't need to be loud to land. It was sharp, precise, and dripping with contempt. Gutfeld didn't shout. He simply held up a mirror. What Crockett saw staring back was brutal, empty rhetoric, glaring contradictions, and the flimsy logic propping up her entire persona. And this wasn't some random clash. Crockett has built her brand as the queen of committee theatrics. Every time the cameras roll, she cues up another meltdown. Wild expressions, dramatic pauses, and just enough buzzwords to keep cable news salivating. It's theater without substance. But this time, her one-woman act was stolen. Gutfeld didn't just point out her antics, he obliterated them. Every exaggerated hand wave, every fake outrage, every scripted controversy, he dragged it all into the light and blasted it with a mix of cutting satire and raw common sense.
Kilmeade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. People do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about oligarchs.
He shredded the absurdity of her outrage, exposing the contradictions baked into every rant. One moment she preaches unity, the next she accuses anyone who disagrees of plotting some grand conspiracy to silence her brilliance. Gutfeld cut straight through the act and named it for what it was, a polished performance hiding the truth that she's accomplished. Almost nothing. That's when things got brutal. Gutfeld didn't stop at mocking her theatrics. He drilled into her record, or more accurately, the lack of one. For all her noise and energy, Crockett's impact in Congress has been negligible. No landmark bills, no meaningful accomplishments, just endless viral clips and puffed up interviews where she cycles through the same talking points at louder and louder volumes. Gutfeld stripped it all down to the core. Crockett isn't a leader, she's a brand. A political reality TV contestant mistaking chaos for charisma. It might win fan pages on Instagram, but it does nothing for the country.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or should I move on to somebody?
No, I just... It has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay. None of y'all are qualified. Not just for one thing, I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that, and I don't want you on my show, get the hell out, because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not gonna talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that. That's the problem.
Of course, Crockett's defenders rushed in with predictable outrage. They cried identity politics, insisting every critique was rooted in bigotry, misogyny, or, wait for it, fear of her supposed power. But Gutfeld wasn't buying it. He sliced through the noise with surgical clarity, reminding everyone that criticism isn't hate, it's accountability. And if she can't handle that, maybe politics isn't her stage. The public's reaction was absolutely savage. Social media erupted, memes flew everywhere. One showed Gutfeld towering over a cartoonish Crockett with the caption, "Sit down and learn something." Others looped the takedown like it was a UFC knockout. But let's be honest, Crockett authored this disaster herself. No one provoked her, no one set her up. She strode into the spotlight, microphone in hand, ready to play the star, and forgot that Gutfeld doesn't spar, he scorches. While she tried to deflect, spin, and screech her way out, Gutfeld hammered her with facts, wit, and sarcasm sharp enough to cut through steel.
Yeah, all right, stop it! Although I must say you have great taste. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man. Okay.
It was like watching someone try to fight fire with glitter. Flashy, pointless, and hopelessly outmatched. Even her usual allies began edging away, clearly realizing this was a disaster no one wanted to claim. Gutfeld wasn't just dismantling one bad soundbite. He was targeting the entire spectacle-driven style of politics that Crockett embodies. He shone a glaring spotlight on the new breed of politicians who believe viral clips can replace real governance. And he did it with humor so sharp it cut through every act, every pose, every staged moment. Then came the knockout blow. After shredding her logic, mocking her theatrics, and exposing her hollow record, Gutfeld drove the point home with a lesson on real leadership. It isn't about shouting louder or insulting critics. It isn't about staged outrage for clicks. True leadership is showing up, doing the work, and delivering change. Not memes, not headlines. Jasmine Crockett learned the hard way that when you trade action for attention, someone like Greg Gutfeld is always waiting, ready to torch your talking points, call your bluff, and serve it back with a side of biting satire and pure humiliation.
Jesse, you know, they called Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters. It's not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, Greg.
I made you say that.
This wasn't just a takedown, it was a flashing warning sign in human form. Gutfeld didn't simply shred Crockett's act, he turned it into a lesson for every politician riding the sugar rush of social media applause. For anyone who believes volume equals effectiveness or TikTok tantrums count as policy wins, Gutfeld just marked up their playbook with a giant sarcastic highlighter. We see you, we're tired, and we're not impressed. Because here's the truth, this wasn't a back and forth. It wasn't even close to a debate. It was the intellectual equivalent of an ambush at a vegan potluck where Gutfeld shows up with a rack of ribs and a megaphone. Crockett tried to whip up the crowd with her usual mix of outrage and buzzwords. But her argument leaked credibility faster than a sinking submarine. And this time, the audience wasn't fooled. No ovations, no sympathy, just the heavy silence of secondhand embarrassment. The kind you feel when someone attempts a dramatic stunt and crashes flat on their face.
First they cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right?
Crockett scrambled to recover, flailing like a glitching Roomba. She spun out buzzwords like systemic oppression, voice of the people, and the classic, let me finish. But every phrase bounced off the shield of Gutfeld's smug, unshaken grin. It was like watching someone try to douse a grease fire by yelling at it. Amusing, but absolutely ineffective.
Now, she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2020.
Meanwhile, Gutfeld looked like a man already thinking about lunch. He didn't need to raise his voice. His takedown was steady, surgical, almost like customer service. Thank you for your outrage. Please hold while we transfer you to someone who cares. He wasn't just winning, he was cruising without breaking a sweat. You could practically imagine elevator music playing in his head while Crockett scrambled to salvage dignity. And then there was the audience. They weren't just watching, they were devouring every moment. Every sarcastic jab Gutfeld fired hit like a confetti cannon in a room full of overinflated egos. Laughter erupted, heads swiveled, and Crockett's so-called stand of courage collapsed into a live demonstration of what happens when a loud candidate collides with cold, hard reality. Her supporters scrambled to patch the wreckage. Tweets flew, think pieces churned out. Someone probably typed up a fiery Instagram caption about misogyny, only to realize it couldn't erase the scorch. Marks. The damage was irreversible. This wasn't a slip, it was a full collapse. The Empress wasn't just exposed, she was live streaming it. And Gutfeld, he was already gone from the battlefield. The look on his face said it all.
How long is she gonna keep this thing that she wasn't talking about, the wheelchair?
Yeah. Come on, babe, you know you're full of and all that, Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like, you guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be? And Jasmine raised her hand and goes, excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive.
What it is, mama.
He knew he had won, and this wasn't merely a spat, it was a cultural autopsy. He didn't just dismantle Jasmine Crockett, he dismantled the entire brand of politicians who confuse clout for competence and tantrums for leadership. What made it even worse for Crockett was the calmness of it all. Gutfeld never raised his voice. No table slams, no melodrama, just razor-edged mockery and fact after fact delivered with the rhythm of a late-night comic and the patience of someone who's seen this circus 100 times. He wasn't furious. He was bored, and that boredom cut deeper than rage ever could. Crockett remained on stage, clutching the microphone, still waiting for cheers that would never come. It was politics turned karaoke, pouring her heart out to an empty room only to realize the mic was never on. She threw everything she had into it, but it still fell flat. Volume isn't vision, and hashtags aren't a governing plan. This wasn't left versus right anymore. It was substance versus spectacle, reality versus optics. Gutfeld didn't just dismantle a politician, he ripped the veil off an entire wave infecting American politics. The rise of the viral lawmaker, the ones who treat Congress like an influencer house, seeing the chamber as a stage and every bill as just another script begging for clicks. That's the real lesson. Politics isn't a stage. It's not reality TV. It's not a launchpad for self-promotion wrapped in activist slogans. It's not a place to chase clout without delivering results. And if you dare treat it that way, if you confuse noise with value, Greg Gutfeld will be waiting in the shadows, armed with a monologue sharp enough to end your act and reframe your career as nothing more than a cautionary tale. And Jasmine Crockett, she found out the hard way.